good. I reckon the conflict guys will love those.
Yeah, it was all done. I don't know where the file went.
Yeah. Oh, hello everybody.
Hello.
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 Stop fiddling, Gary.
Yes, put that down. We're live. So it's me, Rich.C, with Steve and Gary.
Hi. I don't know why I'm the big one today.
That'll be because you've got something very nice to show everybody in a little bit. But to begin with, we thought we'd just catch up with Steve and have a recap a bit. So where did we get to last week?
Last week we launched chapter 2 of The Ruined City. Which,
yes, nice new banner on our front of our website. Yes.
Yeah. So we did that. We the Alamo is they're all flying out. So
they're huge and literally flying because they're so big.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a few people have inquired about that, asking if we're going to split it up like we did in the Kickstarter and do some sets and individual bits. And that is part of the plan for later this month, isn't it? We're going to start dropping these out end of the month. So for those that maybe bought some of it in the Kickstarter and want to make the full complex, you'll be able to do that or pick and mix and sort something out.
And some of the individuals as well, Steve, or?
Yes, individual bits, so you can do whatever you want with it, really. So is that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So a good starting selection. Ruined City. We haven't stopped at chapter 2. There's another chapter coming, isn't there? And that'll be where your cue, Gary.
Let me change camera, folks.
Camera. Hold your fingers. Here we go. Yes. Yeah. So this will be chapter 3.
With a full tower.
Yeah. So there's some low walls. Chapter 3's got some more low walls.
Yep.
Some higher walls. A tower. An intact tower in this instance that sort of managed to stay. But you can split that down and you could have it as a bit more of a crumbled, wrecked one.
So chapter 2 introduced the first of the second story stackable parts. In this one, we see the tower being expanded upon.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the tower, let's see the best place, because although you've got the crenellated part, and then you've got a tower section, there's nothing stopping you swapping over and adding another one of those when we release the single units.
Yeah. Can we have a look inside that one, Gary? A little bit lower. Yeah, there you go.
So that's the bit.
Doorway parts as well, and a doorway through.
Yeah, so that's a wrecked one.
So the thing with it is, of course, you can then mount the part on and the crenellation section separately. And of course, if you have another one of those, you just build up and up.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you use once we start with the rest of the wall sections, the complete wall sections that stack in the same way, you could actually build a castle with it that's intact or a ruined keep or castle. So there's a lot of flexibility in it. And once the whole range is released, we can then start to make other sets so we can bundle them up so they know what they need to get if they wanted to have a castle or a ruin.
Yeah, so fort tower, gateway. Yeah,
because you can see with this section here, you can actually put there'll be a stacking wall you can put into there.
Yeah,
you can put stacked crenellation sections in there. If you wanted to put another one of these up, you can go up higher as well.
So the plan is always that this isn't just how this will work. These bits can all be expanded on later and added to, and you're not sort of tied into what you get initially in the set. So each set will work with each other or with itself if you get multiples of the same one. Yeah. And all the individual components can be switched between them as well. And there'll be options as well that we haven't even considered, which is the funny thing that we know will happen because people will start Yeah, we'll all start mixing stuff up, and someone will sit there going, "That's not supposed to go with that," but it works.
Yeah. Well, somebody's already started that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Been a few starting coming together.
Because what they've done at Sarisa Towers is they've taken a corner which normally stacks with a walkway, and they've taken, just as a demo, that's the corner tower, put onto a corner.
Yeah, so it's the
So you can see that coming into there.
Yeah,
and it sits there really nicely as well by the looks of it, Gary.
Yeah. It's fairly stable because it's on a corner and it's not, too bad. And then of course you can then build
the stacks above that. Yeah.
So it's cardboard. For some reason, it gets very temperamental.
Yeah, that's a cardboard prototype everybody's looking at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's been cut and tested. It's just for some reason cardboard has a habit of being friction fit. But yeah, so you can see that works on both the actual stacking base
and the corners. So you can so that could be actually the outside corner of a wall. You can imagine building your wizard's tower on the outside of a couple of walls.
Yeah. But me being the designer, put it back where it's supposed to be, folks.
No, we're not going to do that. This is more time.
There you go.
All sorts of weird things are going to start happening.
Yeah,
and we've got new ideas for towers already and things like that. And in set 2, we introduced doorways, the actual doors and shutters.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah. There's panels with just loose doors and shutters and arches and things, so you can start to use some plain tiles, so you can do some scatter bits and pieces and just use the shutters and things to dress bits up.
Yeah, I know it's a few extra sort of window relief, the outer parts of the window. Yeah. So the frameworks. That could be
so you could take the doorways and shutters and create a little barricades and things with them, along with some of the low walls to block in things.
Yeah.
And stop the bad guys getting you.
And being terrain tiles, they come together in all sorts of different ways. So with set 3, we're looking at a new tower, so you can expand on set 2 going with that height, but also those low walls as you get with set 1 and 2, those low walls, expanding on those, giving plenty of obstacles you can hide stuff behind or partially hide, ambush from. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Look forward to get my hands on another set, see what we can build.
Yeah,
I know it's meant to be built on, well, they say kind of a 3x3 table, don't they, for Frostgrave? And Mordheim always played on a slightly larger board, so the 4x4. But I think if we squeeze this together and put some extra levels in, you could easily come into a 2 foot by 2 foot, but with lots of height.
Yeah.
And that would work really well, I think.
Yeah, and if you use with the different height walls, it's quite easy to really cut certain areas off, so that even though you can create little mazes of walls and things, and someone with a bit of height might be able to see over, but once you're down there at ground level, you're blocking off all that lines of sight quite effectively. So it could be some really interesting little tight tables made from it.
Yeah, so you get a tight
walkways. The mausoleum will have to be sorted out for this, I think, because there's a lovely scenario in the book for that.
Oh
no, don't break it.
He didn't survive.
Oh dear, man down. Right, whilst Gary's fixing that one. That's the only release this weekend. So chapter 3 is that's adding to our range of the Ruined City this weekend. So we also have a set that's kind of part of one that we've already released.
Yes,
I think that's in front of you, Steve. Is that right?
I have got one here that's been sitting here for a while. I will. So it's the Hut 13, the individual one. So with the guys at Clockwork Goblin, we did the scenario set, but it was always a plan for people that maybe had a sort of a larger board and just wanted the individual kit. So the The hut on its own will be available from this weekend. So it's got some internal room detail. There is some hatch. I'll lift them out the doors, but there's a little hatch there that seems to have steps that go downstairs to something else.
Yeah,
we're not quite sure what's down there. So that'll be available. A few people have asked, and are keenly waiting for it. So that'll be available from this weekend as well.
Fantastic. The guys have enjoy seeing that, and it expands nicely on that POW set that we have.
Yes, yeah, it's done in the similar style. So there's quite a lot of that range. That sort of army camp, POW camp, stroke. I don't know what it could be. Barracks for a V1 or a V2 rocket site. Lots of different things. So it's got lots of uses.
Yeah, I could easily see that as part of a farm complex or something like those near a factory as well.
Yeah,
with the V1.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't take much on maybe not on this one, but on the other ones, it wouldn't take much to just make them into. It could be a farm. They could be chicken places or something, because they use the same sort of sheds for. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know what sort of game whether you want to do some sort of strange game where you've got to rescue the chickens. a modern, someone's maybe going to do a modern rule set where it's sort of activists, animal rights activists freeing chickens from dairy farms. Why not?
After 12 o'clock for your ideas there, isn't it? Steve, did you have a printout of the scenario still upstairs?
Oh yes, yeah.
So we should probably remind people that the full set actually comes with a full scenario that the guys put together. Yes. That's H, Chris, and the guys at Ben at Clockwork Goblin, and it even comes with the old signs for Hut 13.
Yeah, there's a load of there's a sheet full of signs, slightly different styles of the same signs. So I think what we'll do with this, will go in with this, but I think we maybe could put that on as a download, couldn't we? The signs.
Yeah.
For people. So
that's quite popular. So nice one, guys, at Clockwork, and I'm sure we'll be seeing something new from them fairly soon. In the
maybe.
We'll see. But for now, let's move on a little bit, because Gary, you've got something else that we can show off. It's quite small, little vehicle. Actually, pretty small. Whilst you kind of swap over to that, people might have missed a little small release we popped out a few weeks ago, dropped into our Far East range.
Yes, we did these cool little Japanese pillboxes, which have got opening roofs and things, and these were found on a couple of islands.
Yeah,
in the Pacific,
aren't they?
Little sort of prefab nature, and then they could be earthworks pushed up against them and things, but they're really quite cool, and they're easily missed, but they just add a bit of character. There's enough room in there for a little gun team or a sniper or two.
No, of course, in reality they were kind of a command post, but they were designed to have a pair of machine guns in the lower pool, dug in, and could have made quite a difference on a few places, and they were even found in the Aleutians apparently.
All right.
So over to Gary. What's he got there? Finally, I think we could say.
Finally, yeah. Sorry about any flicker. It's a light with the dodgy bulbs obviously kicked in. But yeah, so this is our a nice little French beastie.
And a nice little building next to them, of course.
Yeah, very popular item. Now, this is coming out in a couple of weeks, is it, guys?
Yes, 2 weeks time.
So all those that have been asking for it, there we go. All right, Adam.
Yeah.
For you, yes.
And is this going to be another one of those kits, Gary, that we have to send a small elite team down to steal from you? Because
yeah.
As soon as it goes on to a small diorama, it's like you're not getting this one back at all.
To his display case. Right, so you got all right, quite a bit of detail underneath that.
Yeah, for some reason my camera light's very, very pale
It
tonight.
looks like you lost one.
So there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Wheel arches.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm just thinking I might have one.
Yeah, you've got a built one, surely.
I can imagine, as we of course mentioned, H in the conflict guys, they'll be using those for.
There you go. So.
Oh, cool.
There we go.
The front wheels are in my hand because it's. I've picked it up and it's done the usual sabotage where it's not been glued together. So there's quite a bit of detail there. So it, which would be quite cool for a bit of kit bashing as well, I suppose. I'm just looking at it with the front off, and you could get it butchered down to a little cart with horse-drawn cart.
H has been doing some stuff for his Totenkopf, the reanimated corpses for his Hut 13 build. So I reckon he might be needing a few of those because, of course, they were used mostly by the German forces.
Yes.
Weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, they were designed, built, and they were just starting production when the Germans walked in. And they then carried on production, mainly with a gun to their head. And they were mainly used all over the place. And it was an odd one because when I do my sort of go off piste jobby, I just sort of found that being on many a photograph with German soldiers in front and had to track it down.
Yeah.
So, there's a few in the 1/32 size Tamiya kits knocking around, but that's
going to be perfect for a lot of gamers.
Yeah, it's a quirky little kit as well. It's a bit different, isn't it?
It's used throughout the war. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and after the war, so the French villages, towns, cities, full of them after the war in many different guises.
Yeah. It's a bit like the Stolly we did, isn't it? It's like done for a purpose, and then for years afterwards they get repurposed and used for.
Yeah, only in service for 3 or 4, but then everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Even appeared in a episode of Endeavour, would you believe it?
Wow.
On a military training ground just down the road from me. They had it there as some.
You speaking on it?
Some sort of objective. So there.
Oh well.
Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing what people put together themselves and seeing them on the tabletops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
I'm switching cameras.
Right, so as Gary comes back, so that's a little bit of what we've got coming up. And I think next week we might have a bit of an announcement because we're coming up for 6 months, but as our SPTV.
Yeah, 6 months of us idiots wasting half an hour of your time every week.
Wasting half an hour. But hopefully giving you lots of ideas and tips on the nice episodes. So we'll get back to that a little bit next week, Gary, as we'll probably be looking at part 4 of the Rune City and a few other bits. So, I think we'll probably wrap it up tonight, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And thank you, Gary. Thank you, Steve.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Stay safe. Bye.